Let me go across to Dr. Nimish Desai first there. Dr. Desai, now these workers have been trapped for about 255 hours, right? Naturally, they're under all kinds of stress and trauma. If you had to talk to them, what would you be telling them at this moment, and especially about coming back, because they've been through what to them would be a very like a near-death experience?
I would say this: in the last 11 days, progressively their anxiety and trauma would have been lessened each step by step. And so now in the final moments, we just need to enhance that reassurance that's been provided by so many agencies and the knowledge in the workers' mind that everybody is working for their rest. I mean, most of them being able-bodied adult men workers, you also expect a better level of physical and psychological resilience. If they were disabled or elderly people or people with medical problems, they would be much more worried. So all that really is required at this point is very strong reassurance, possibly some amount of support for expression of anxiety, fear, and as General Hassan said, if at all there are people with claustrophobia or those tendencies for not being able to crawl through. Once they are out, there'll be really a need for more of what's called trauma-informed counseling. And having worked with NDMA earlier, I'm sure NDMA and NDRF will take care of that.
No, so give me a sense of that. Is this trauma something that stays with you forever? Because, for example, if you served in the armed forces, very often we see cases of post-traumatic stress disorder. So when you've been through a traumatic experience like this, does that memory then haunt you? How do you counsel people to get over that?
Fortunately, Rahul, for most people, it does not. I must say this with all respect to the American establishment in science, that the PTSD, while a valid clinical entity seen across the globe, it's certainly much more of a political, economic concept enhanced by the American situation of post-Korea and post-Vietnam Gulf Wars. There's very good evidence from such incidents as well as big disasters that South Asian cultures actually have much more of a resilience and protection against PTSD. Now that, coupled with all the counseling I'm sure that will happen, should really reduce drastically the possibility of any PTSD.
Dr. Desai, for joining me, thank you very much. Sairak Joseph at the Squadron Infra and Mining Limited. Give our viewers a sense of the efforts that you've made in this rescue operation, the challenges that have been encountered by those who've been involved in the rescue, and your sense of how long it might be before finally we're able to get some good news.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul, for bringing me into the program. So we are we are from Bangalore, and then we got a call last evening from Brigadier Vishal Verma and from Colonel Deepak Patil, and I was amazed by the spirit and energy which they asked us to just when we had to air dash to my team has already reached there, and we are all there is the number of experts working together, coordinating multi-expertise, and we are all there ready to see. There are two things. We got drone based sensors which can go into inaccessible areas. It flies autonomous. So if there is something, we are all one thing is the important is to rescue the people inside there. Apart from that, it's also important the safety of the.
So what have you done? You've sent drones into that pipe.
Yeah, we are all standby, not into the pipe, into the as Professor Lieutenant General Syed told us, the geology is complicated, so we need to assess that. So we are ready with that. If there's anything, we need to assess that and immediately take charge, so that the rescue operation is unhindered. It is seamless. So we are there. We got a team of 6 people there. We got a and we got a team back here at office 24 hours. We are online to support the entire team. We are there to support the entire team with these any requirement. Anytime we need to assess it, we quickly do that, and then we give back. So you get an informed decision making for the entire rescue operations. And this is
so
something.
It's good to see that all the tech that is at our disposal is being deployed to ensure that every aspect of this rescue operation has the best technology available. Sairak Joseph, we'll track what you do carefully. Thank you for joining me. I want to go across to Professor C.S. Dubey, well-known geologist. Professor Dubey, now obviously something went wrong, which is what led to this tunnel collapsing, and that will be the matter of a post-mortem. How do we ensure that that doesn't happen again? do you think that adequate safeguards are being made in the Char Dham road widening project to ensure that you're able to deal with this? Is this a case of individual neglect or individual error, or do you think that this could be symptomatic of what we may be dealing with in that entire region with this massive road construction activity?
Well, look, the roads are being made a lot in the Himalayan area, but the tunneling has been a very few cases, the tunneling is there. When you do the tunneling, you have to see the inner structure and the outer structure of the rocks and the kind of rocks, what are their strength, especially the strength of the rock. We assess the rock mass rating of the rock. We see whether the rock is stable or not. There are fractures, there are faults, or there are any thrusts, or there are any active faults are there. So that is there especially in the Uttarkashi region and the Char Dham region. It is the most of the places where these tunnels are going. They are going from a very, very fragile rocks. Because when you start from the lesser Himalaya side, most of the rocks are very fragile. When you go upper and upper, they become hard. But then the question comes up from which side you are drilling. If you are drilling the rocks with the vibration and the kind of, if you are doing some kind of a tunnel boring machine, even then it's better. But if you are doing with the simple manual methods or the automatic methods without doing some, more of the more systematic manner, you're not doing it, you're bound to have these kind of, fractures and the subsidence and the landsliding. Most of the places where this occurs they are actually old landslides. So we have to study those things. For example, the big boulder which comes up down there like this, it is actually a debris cum boulder. So it could not be a rock type, a soft rock or a hard rock. Yes, then definitely the soft rock I saw on the top of that is a very soft rock, and it is bound to come down as a debris. We have to be very careful when we are putting them out of the tunnel, because though the casing, I could see that they have doubled or tripled the casing, they are trying to triple the casing, and they should make the strength to the pipeline. But crawling, it depends on the strength of the people, how they come out. In fact, I see the geotechnical and technical geological aspects are very, very important, because the engineers generally, I'm very frank to say that generally what happens is a geologist is a must in that places, because geotechnical engineers and the technical persons, engineering, civil engineering people, they have less ideas of what is going to happen. So it is geology, geotechnical aspects are must, and they should be on a very scale like 1:10 scale or 1:100 scale. They must be measured and see where are these kind of problems are there in the rocks. I think that has to be taken care in all the tunnels which we are going to make, whether it is a tunnel in the, now 40 tunnels are being constructed in India. I have come to know that different places, whether it is below the sea or on the Char Dham or at different places. This is good. It should be there. But we have to be very, very careful when we are making the structures, especially for the, kind of a place. What has happened here is that we didn't, we have not thought of the escape routes. We have not thought of the, safety measures. And those safety measures and escape routes should be must, beforehand. Okay. And they should be prepared. The plan should be better than we are going to construct.
Professor Dubey, for joining me. Thank you very much. Hopefully some of the concerns that you've laid out will be kept in mind in the evacuation, so that pipe that's been laid, which you saying has been reinforced, is actually able to take the pressure of bringing these workers out safely. I want to go across to Narinder Singh Bundela, Inspector General of the NDRF, now joining us. Remember, these are the guys who will actually carry out the rescue mission. So it's his people who will be going into that pipe, speaking to the workers first. So they're the first people from the outside these trapped workers will be speaking to. They'll get a sense of what's happening and then pull them out. So thank you, Mr. Bundela, for joining us. Inspector General, I want you to explain to our viewers your assessment of the current situation in this Ilkiara-Barakot tunnel and your sense of how this operation was proceeding at this moment. Mr. Bundela.
So currently, a lot of central teams, the project is being led by NHIDC and other central government agencies, including NDRF, BRO, Indian Army, Railways, and other agencies, those who have expertise in that area, they are also getting involved in the process, as all of us know. And state agencies, district administration, SDRF, and medical services, central government medical service, they are also getting involved in the process. And the agencies have made various plans. One of the most important plan is boring the tunnel, the sidewall from which it has collapsed, and hopefully that should come through. And from there, that is the prime target right now. From there, we should be able to rescue the trapped personnel inside the tunnel.
You know, that auger machine that's been sent there seems to have made substantial progress. Explain why that horizontal drilling using the auger machine is making more progress than the other approaches which were being attempted, including the attempt to try and go in from the top.
So, as reported, the auger machine is working right now, and they are drilling at the site, and they have been able to make access. They have gone deeper inside the tunnel now with the help of the auger machine. And so that is one positive step agencies have taken, and definitely we will get a positive report sooner.
So you've sent hot food, some clothing to the workers from your people who are in touch with them. What are they telling you? How are the workers doing? What's their mental condition? How are their spirits?
So one good thing is that with the new pipeline which has been laid, 6 inch, they are getting warm food, sufficient water, and we have better access to them. Authorities are in contact with them through communication network also, and they are able to talk to all of them. And so far, what has been reported that all of them are in good condition. And so we are working on the step to evacuate them once we get the access through the machine.
So it is the NDRF, the National Disaster Response Force, that has to pull these workers out once that pipeline has been laid all the way to the workers. Give us a sense of your preparation at this moment, your planning. How do you actually execute this rescue mission once the engineers have laid that pipe?
Yeah, so authorities are already talking to them. They have done the assessment of all the workers, those who are inside. And once our team goes inside, we will decide who would be going from outside to inside. We will be sending NDRF or SDRF also to inside, and then we will assess their condition, and accordingly we will make an evacuation plan one by one. So the important thing is that all of them have to be evacuated safely and without any problem, so that they can be taken care of.
How do you intend to deal with the workers once they're out? Do you think some of them may need to be hospitalized or given medical care? What about having psychiatrists and mental health experts there to deal with the kind of trauma that they've been through? Can you give us a sense on how you're planning the medical evacuation part of this?
So Ministry of Health, the central government team is also involved in the process. State government health authorities are also involved in the process. So they have already coordinated and chalked out their action plan. And as per the medical condition of the workers and those who are inside the tunnel, action would be taken in coordination.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the time being. Mr. Bundela, thank you very much for joining us and giving us your best sense of how this operation is growing. So as I said, NDRF personnel will be going in once the tunnel is completed, talking to the workers, getting a sense of how they're doing, how they're feeling, figuring out who should be pulled out first. Now the workers could be pulled out either by because it's not vertical, so they don't need to be pulled out with a rope. They need to either crawl through the pipe or they can be put in wheeled stretchers and pulled out. So both those options will be there, and that call of course will be taken by the NDRF personnel who go into the tunnel once the entire pipeline has been laid. It's a very complex, intricate operation, and we're trying to bring all the latest updates for our viewers here on India Today.